Welcome to One Little Park, a place dedicated to all things theme parks. On this week's Lost Worlds episode, I'm taking a trip to the once abandoned theme park, Splendid China. If you like this video, please subscribe. I put up videos every Friday. Located just miles away southwest of Walt Disney World Resort is the recently opened Margaritaville Resort Orlando. Costing $800 million, the resort features a hotel, vacation cottages, a not yet completed 12-acre water park, and a shopping and dining district. But long before you could waste away in Margaritaville, you could take a trip to Splendid China, Florida. I still remember seeing the abandoned walls of Splendid China back in 2013 during my first trip to Walt Disney World. If only I had known the history behind those walls. It all started in the late 1980s with a Taiwanese-American school teacher and real estate developer Josephine Chen. Chen would visit Splendid China Miniature Scenic Spot in Shenzhen, hosted by China Travel Services, an agency of the Chinese government. This scenic spot in China had great success, and the CTS and Chen were interested in expanding it. Chen wanted to bring it to Florida, as by that time there were several theme parks open and in development. It was thought that Splendid China, Florida could bring together the cultures of China and the United States and help strengthen the government relationships. Splendid China, Florida featured over 60 miniature replicas of famous Chinese locations. This included the Great Wall of China and the Terracotta Warriors and many other statues and replicas. The theme park was a huge contrast to the other theme parks in the area. While they were dealing with massive crowds and a multitude of rides and attractions, Splendid China was a quiet display of China's majesty. However, in 1993, 1 week before the park opened, the Chinese government bought out Josephine Chen's share of the park and took full control. Chen had realized the intention of the government was to promote their communist propaganda, and upon its opening was met with protesters, including Tibetan monks. The reason for the protests was mainly due to China's attacks on centers of Tibetan Buddhism and slaughter of 20 to 30% of Tibet's entire population in the late 1950s and early 60s. The first 3 years of operation saw nothing but negative media and poor attendance. Around 42 Chinese performers escaped the park and sought political asylum, claiming that they were being held against their will. This led to a restructuring of management that ultimately did nothing to help the park. CTS continuously overruled park management on marketing decisions and expansions. Various attempts at discounting tickets and opening up a store in the Orlando airport were shot down. They wanted to expand the park to have more restaurants and even include some rides, but again were denied. Having no previous experience in tourism, the Chinese management did not understand what would work to bring Americans to the park, and this ultimately led to the park's downfall. By 1999, it was reported that Splendid China was losing $9 million a year, and attendance to the park had declined since opening. Economical and political turmoil in the post-9/11 United States resulted in drastically reduced tourism for Splendid China, and on December 31, 2003, it closed its gates. Just 1 year later, many of the assets were auctioned off, leaving very few miniatures behind. The property was sold in 2005 and sat abandoned for nearly 13 years. During that time, numerous trespassing reports were filed by police and a lot of vandalism occurred. The remaining structures were completely demolished in 2016. But that isn't all to the story of Splendid China. Along with the theme park, a strip mall was constructed adjacent to Splendid China and was themed to complement the park. The main attraction of the strip mall is the Marketplace, an unbranded Winn-Dixie grocery store. Like I said before, I had no idea of Splendid China in 2013. So when I stepped foot in this very oddly themed grocery store for the first time, it never occurred to me why it was themed this way. I just thought, hey, it's a tourist area, so here's a China-themed grocery store. It was a unique experience for sure. Where else can you go to shop at a themed grocery store? Throughout the store were many themed displays to give the feeling that you're shopping in a market on the streets of China. It was a smart move to theme this strip mall to the theme park next door, as it helped further immerse visitors into the story, whether it was intentional or not. However, the strip mall was not affiliated with Splendid China, so it actually lives on today. Due to various financial trouble throughout the years, the Winn-Dixie chain has closed numerous stores throughout the southeastern United States. The Marketplace of Splendid China closed its doors in March of 2019. And that is the brief history of Splendid China, Florida, a theme park that struggled since opening but managed to live on for 10 years until becoming a lost world. As always, thank you all so much for watching. I couldn't do what I do without you. Let me know in the comments below if you ever visited Splendid China or its ruins, and be sure to subscribe and hit the bell to be notified for my upcoming video. Share these videos with your friends if you find them interesting. You never know who would want to visit one little park. With Star Wars Celebration coming up in April, you can expect a couple of Star Wars related theme park videos coming soon. Don't be discouraged though, I'll definitely be doing more than Star Wars in the coming months. Until next time, see ya!